All right, guys, we're starting John chapter 3 today after learning about the first aorist. And this starts a pretty long chunk, a pretty long paragraph, pretty famous scene here with Jesus and Nicodemus. We're going to do about the first half of this encounter today, or this long paragraph, and we'll come back to this again. But let's go ahead and get started. 3:1. Ein de anthropos ekton pharisaion Nicodemus, anima auto archon ton Iudaion. And there was a man, okay, another kind of popular heading transition start, start of a new heading that we've seen from John before. And there was a man from the Pharisees, Nicodemus, name to him. Remember that idiom that we've seen? We see their name, and then anima auto, name to him. In other words, even though there's no verb there, and his name was Nicodemus, is what we would say in English. Archon ton Iudaion, ruler of the Jews. Okay, so he's a leader. He's a chief Pharisee. He's a high-ranking person. Hutas eilthen pros auton nuktas kai apen auto, Rabbi, oidamen hati apatheu eleluthas didaskalas, udes gardunatai tuta ta semea poien hasu poies, ean me e hatheas met autu. Okay? This guy, he in this case, he came. There's erkomai in our second aorist. He came to him. Okay, so Nicodemus came to Jesus, right? Nuktas kai apen auto, and said during the night. Notice that's a genitive. This is going to talk about what kind of time we're dealing with. It's a genitive of time. He came to him during the night and said, another second aorist there, to him, Rabbi, we know that from God you have come, and we've got teacher here, okay? We know that a teacher, you have come from God. It's interesting that he calls him rabbi and then teacher's kind of thrown here on the end. That's maybe just a little cumbersome. We know that you're a teacher who has come from God, that sort of thing, right? For no one is able. Now we have to, we want to look for kind of a complementary infinitive. I know you don't know infinitives yet, but that dunatai, it just asks for an infinitive to kind of complete the idea. For no one is able, and here it is from poieo, to do these signs which you are doing, or which you do, unless God may be with him. Okay? In other words, nobody could do these miracles, these signs. Remember, John is using the word semea, sign, instead of miracle here. That's kind of his word for miracle. Instead of dunamis, he's using semea, which is kind of a theological theme for John. Okay? Nobody could do these signs that you were doing unless God was with him. That's Nicodemus's judgment there. Verse 3. Apekrithe Jesus kai apen auto, amenemen lego soi, ean me tis genethe anothen, udunatai adain tain basilean to theu. Okay. Jesus answered and said to him, once again, one of those phrases that's probably becoming an old hat for us. Jesus answered and said to him, and then here's another phrase that we're probably getting used to. Amenemen lego soi. Truly, truly, I say to you. By the way, notice this is usually amen lego humin. What is different about it this time? Why is it different? Yeah, because this is singular. He's just talking to Nicodemus, right? Usually he's teaching a group and he says, truly, truly, I say to you all. Here he's just talking to Nicodemus. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless someone may be born. And then anoth, an interesting word here, only used a handful of times in the New Testament, 8 or 10 or something like that, can mean from above or can mean again. Most of the time it's from above, but this is, it's almost like Jesus is being kind of intentionally vague here to see how Nicodemus is going to understand this. He's kind of playing with him a little bit. Unless someone may be born from above or be born again, he is not able to see the kingdom of God. Okay? He is not able to see the kingdom of God. Verse 4. Lege pros auton ha Nicodemus, post dunatai anthropos, genethenai geron on, me dunatai eis tein koilion tes metras autu, deuteron eis elthein kai genethenai. Nicodemus said to him, how is a man able, see what we did there, okay? How is a man able to be born being old? How is a man able to be born when he's old? Okay? He is not able into his mother's womb a second time to enter into, right? So notice we have eis elthein here, and eis, this is an infinitive which you don't know yet, but it comes from eis erchomai. How is a man able to enter into his mother's womb a second time and to be born? That's what he's asking, okay? Verse 5. Apekrithe Iesus amenemen legosoi, ean me tis genethe ex hudatas kai pneumatas u dunatai eis elthein eis tein basileon to theu. Jesus answered, truly, truly, I say to you, unless someone may be born from water and spirit, he is not able to enter into the kingdom of God. Okay? Nicodemus understands this on a very physical, literal level, born again, how can a man enter into his mother's womb and be born when he's old? And Jesus, sort of clarifies, born of water and the spirit, that sort of thing. Verse 6. Ta gegenemenon ek tes sarkas sarx esten, kai ta gegenemenon ek tu pneumatas pneuma esten. Okay? This is kind of a Hebrew poetic parallelism contrast kind of deal from Jesus here. That which has been born from flesh is flesh, and that which has been born from spirit is spirit. Verse 7. Me thaumases hati epansoi de humas genethenai anothen. Do not marvel that I said to you, it is necessary for you to be born again, or be born from above. Verse 8. Ta pneuma hapu thele pene kai tein phonein autu akues, ala uk oidas pathen erkatai kai pu hupage, hutos esten pas ha gegenemenas ek tu pneumatas. The Spirit blows where it wants. Okay? Notice pneuma and pene. Okay, this is from peneo. Notice the relation there. Spirit essentially means wind, breath, that sort of thing. So the verb peneo means blow. Okay? Like a blowing wind. The wind blows where it wants, or the Spirit blows where it wants, and you hear its noise, okay, or its sound. You hear its sound. But you do not know from where it comes and where it goes, okay? Thus is all who have been born of the Spirit. Verse 9, couple more verses here. Apekrithe Nicodemus kai apen auto, post dunatai tauta genesthai. Nicodemus answered and said to him, how are these things able to be? Okay. Notice we've got a plural here, but it's taking a third person singular verb. That's going to be pretty common. That's kind of a weird thing that happens if we have a neuter plural subject. It's going to take a third person singular verb for some reason. That's just a weird thing that Greek does. Okay. How are these things able to be? Apekrithe Iesus kai apen auto, su e hadidaskalas tu Israel kai tauta u genoskes. Jesus answered and said to him, you are the teacher of Israel, and you do not know these things? Verse 11, Amen, amen, lego soy hati ha oidamen, lalumen kai ha heorakamen, martyrumen, kai tain martyrion hemon u lambanete. Truly, truly, I say to you that what we know, we speak, and what we have seen, we testify. And our testimony you have not received. Two more. We'll go to 13. Verse 12. Eta epigea epon humin kai u pistuete pos ean epo humen ta eporania pistusete. If I speak to you earthly things and you do not believe, how, if I speak to you heavenly things, will you believe? Did you notice the future there? See the sigma? Okay. So if we go through our steps here, lexical form is pistuo. We look to the left. We don't see an augment, right? We might be tempted to call this first aorist because we see that sigma there, but there's no augment on the front, so it can't be past tense, can't be aorist. Instead, we see this. We see those active endings. Has to be future. You will believe. You all will believe. By the way, notice there he has switched to plural, okay, which is kind of interesting there. Jesus just talking to Nicodemus, but this is a plural, okay. Last one. Kai udes anababeken estan uranon e me ha ek tu uranu katabas ha huias tu anthropu. And no one has ascended into heaven except the one having come down from heaven, the Son of Man. Are you getting used to this phrase, ha huias tu anthropu? Is that becoming kind of an old hat for you because you've seen it enough? The Son of Man, or ha huias tu theou, the Son of God. Those phrases come up a lot. Let's go ahead and stop here at verse 13, and we'll do the second half of this long paragraph next time. But good stuff here. Familiar stories. Sometimes that's helpful to translate familiar stories. That can help you a little bit. What you want to be careful to do is don't just go from memory. Reciting something from memory is not translating Greek, right? So we got to make sure that we're doing our work. We're letting the Greek lead. We don't just let our old Sunday school memory drive the ship here. We want to make sure we're actually translating. But good job today, friends. We'll see you next time.